Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie Robinson. If you're new here, welcome to my little corner of the internet world. If you are someone that's been with me for a while, welcome back. I love seeing the comments from like my regulars. I need to go do that. Bubby! We are back and ready to roll. Anyways, today's video is going to be a fun one because Mr. Drew Man is almost 4 months old. We've got about a week until he's 4 months old, and we have our 4-month pediatrician appointment. But today I'm going to be showing you how I make homemade baby food. So for those of you that are new here, I've been growing an organic garden, and I'll be sharing more gardening tips and tricks, and also just kind of how to start a garden if you live in an urban area on my channel in videos to come, as well as ones that I've already posted. Definitely check those out. But a lot of my fruits and veggies are from my garden, ones that I didn't grow or ones that kind of were not in our growing season. I definitely am getting from the store. I'm looking for organic fruits and veggies, ones that I wash. I actually use the Thieves multi-purpose cleaner in my house as my fruit and veggie wash. It's great. It is a plant-based cleaner, so you just mix it up, dilute it with some water, and there's your fruit and veggie wash. There's a whole list of fruit and veggies that you really need to wash because they're used they're basically very dirty fruits and veggies. Very important to clean them up, and your sink just looks nasty after you wash them because it gets off all of those herbicides and pesticides that are sprayed on the crops like while growing them. Anyways, long story short, some of my fruits and veggies are from my garden, others I got at the store, but I'm going to be walking you through how I make homemade baby food. It's really not that hard. I barely get food on the table for my husband and I every week, like every night for dinner. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to be a baby food making person, but then here we are, and now I'm a baby food making person. But that being said, what's cool about the baby food is you can make it ahead of time and you can freeze it. You can make it fresh or you can freeze it. And I have some neat little hacks, tips and tricks on how to make your own baby food and also still manage the working mom life or the busy stay-at-home mom life. I am going to be showing you how to make foods for the 4 to 6 month range. So Drew's first foods will be in this video. If you have a baby in this range, then these purees are for you. If your baby's a little older, they can eat them too, but then things get really fun as they get a little bit older. So I'm going to show you the purees I'm making and how to make them, and then I'm going to continue this journey. If this is something you guys find helpful, definitely tag someone, shout me out on your Instagram stories if you're watching it, or if you're making your own. I would love to see that, so please tag me and I will repost y'all. But I would love to kind of carry on this journey as he ages and gets older, so kind of show you guys what I'm making for him through the months as he approaches a year old and bigger from there. So without further ado, let's get started. One of the first things I wanted to show you guys was the book that I'm using as my guideline on how to cook the fruits and veggies. This is the book. I will try to find it on Amazon and link it below. It's the Healthy Baby Meal Planner by Annabelle Carmel. This is actually the book that my mom used when she made baby food for me back in the day. So my mom is very into nutrition. She is a nurse and she's also a geophysicist and very kind of nutrition science-based. My grandma was a nutritionist, and so I really love this book. It tells you kind of how to prepare every food. You don't just stick carrots in the blender, you don't just stick green beans in the blender. It kind of tells you how best to prepare all of your foods so that they are safe and not too chunky for the little one, and so you don't lose all the nutrients in cooking. So yeah, let's get rolling. Check that book out though if this is something you're interested in. Okay, so the first thing that I want to make with you guys is actually this butternut squash, which I steamed up. I chose to steam it and then let it sit so that the water that was steamed out was absorbed back, or kind of I guess condensed and fell back into the bowl. I chose to cook it this way because it makes it really soft so you can puree it very smoothly, but it also keeps the nutrients actually of the veggie in the kind of final product. So when you boil things, when you saute things, basically cooking anything like that to turn it into a broth is great because it makes it softer, and then you have some water to incorporate and make it extra smooth for the little ones. This is especially important in that 4 to 6 month range because anything with like a chunk or a texture to it is a choking hazard. However, that water then has all the nutrients in it. So they basically are boiled off. They're in the water. You dump the water out, and then there's no nutrients for your baby. So you always want to keep the water, incorporate the water into the puree to make it extra creamy. Because I steamed it and kept the nutrients that way, I'm actually adding in a little bit of my breast milk. I just unfroze this, thawed this out, and then I'm gonna dump this into my food processor and we'll get going. I mentioned to you guys that I'm actually freezing my baby food, so I have 2 ice cube trays. This one is the one that most people have. These are actually 1.5 ounces. They hold 1.5 ounces of product. And then these I actually just picked up at Target. They're silicone molds. You guys know how much I love silicone. If you don't know about plastic versus silicone and different materials, definitely check out. I'm making a video on materials for babies and baby products that I love and why. Silicone is a great material because it doesn't leach any chemicals into your food or your milk or anything like that. A lot of people don't realize, even when bottles are plastic or things are plastic and they say BPA free, they have often a BPA alternative which is being used on the market now called BPS. BPS is actually being found to be just as dangerous as BPA. There's just no regulations on it because everything takes like 15 years or so to regulate. So silicone's a great way to go. These little molds are about 1/2 ounce. So 1.5 ounces, 1/2 ounce. So that way you kind of know how much your baby's measuring, how much your baby's eating via the measurement. So let's get cooking. Okay guys, I had to change really quickly because I'm about to go work out, but I wanted to get this in the freezer and freezing so it's not sitting out all day. We have our breast milk and we have our puree, so we are ready to roll. I am going to just kind of scoop the puree into this silicone mold and really just smooth over the top with a spatula. It's so simple. So you basically take your puree and just kind of put it in here like this. That's why I love the silicone molds, because then you can just pop them right out of the top. So just spreading it in here. And again, this is butternut squash that I steamed, and I pureed mine in my KitchenAid food processor. I put in about 5 ounces of breast milk, I would say, and a little bit of water. That's what you guys saw in the picture. And it came out really nice and creamy. And this is a KitchenAid food processor, which I love. If you guys are looking for recommendations, it's super easy to clean. And I did puree it on high to get it really creamy. They're just kind of smoothing off the top towards the end. So there we go. We have all of our baby food ready to go into the freezer. I'm gonna pop this one in and then I will show you the next puree when I get back.